Good morning, guys. Welcome to today's training on how to thrive beyond codependency, how to break free of the trance that codependency typically has us in and reconnect back with our own well-being and with who we really are. So if you're new to me, I'm Marshall Burtcher, and I help codependents and survivors of narcissistic relationships rediscover their joy, their happiness, their well-being after those relationships, after codependency. It's all about coming back to you, back to your own well-being, discovering your own brilliance, and the fact that you matter, that you belong, and that you have a purpose you choose and you get to discover in your world. And we're going to be talking a bit about that today with the question, can you really know who you are? So before we get that started, I need to get this shared out to the community. Now, the community, I'm sure some of you have been watching me for a while. So you're like, oh, here comes this one. The community is where you have a safe haven. It's where you find home, where you find being believed, right? You find sanity. You find connection. You find shelter from the nightmare that you've been enduring. The link is above for that and below on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And once again, Facebook moves things around. It's like, hooray! That's what we want. We want it to move things around and make things complicated. Unfortunately, I do that too sometimes. There's some changes that'll be coming up for the students in my courses. So changes coming there. Okay, so let's do this, guys. Can you really know who you are? A secret to revealing yourself to you. So there's 3 stages to healing from codependency, to accomplishing what I call happiness after codependency. Phase 1 is about healing yourself. It's about understanding what you've been through, and then it's about healing it. We go through a specific kind of process with that healing. The first one is to heal our trauma bond, the narcissistic enmeshment the enmeshment we have with the narcissist, rather, and reclaim our peace, our sanity, and our connection from that relationship. Second step is to heal the emotional trauma of narcissistic abuse and neglect, which is about healing the shame, fear, guilt, and fatigue that comes with that. And then the third step is to heal the neglect, which is all about unmet needs and fundamentally restoring safety to exist, safety to feel. So that is the first step, first phase there. Second phase is to know yourself. That's what we're exploring here in the last couple of weeks, is understanding who we are, how to discover who we are, how to connect with that, and then live it. Know, love, and live who you are is the big goal of phase 2. And then phase 3 is sharing yourself. And that's all about generating meaningful reciprocal connections and healthy interdependence with other human beings so that you can enjoy your life. So how can you really know who you are? This is one that I tend to perplex people with because it's perplexed me a bit too. So, oftentimes with codependency, or just in general with life, we tend to come from an idea that we need to seek and then come to a conclusion. We need to come to a conclusion. This is who I am, or this is what it is going to be, or this is what's going to happen. This tends to put us into some interesting problems and interesting traps or mazes, because once I decide who I am, I create a conclusion around that. Then my behavior, my expectations, my judgments, my assumptions, conclusions I run from, I call that the cage, all operate around this central conclusion of who I am. And this is a very dangerous place, guys, because if we come from a traumatized background, then we have made conclusions about ourselves that are going to put us into positions of being really harmed and being vulnerable to abuse and manipulation, for instance. We have concluded things about connection, about love, about intimacy that aren't intrinsically true. We may have made conclusions about our worth, our value, and about who we are that innately limit us and inhibit us from knowing our own joy, our own potential, our own capacity. This is why we don't play this game here. When I was healing, and really, well, I'm still doing that. We're all growing, right? It's not like, oh, I've arrived. Hey, guys. No. And this really actually gets into my point. We discover ourselves on a perpetual basis. I don't really know all of me. I know some of me. I know that I'm a consistently stubborn person. I can be really, 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 really stubborn. Like ram stubborn. Like, I know that I'm gifted in the ability to see problems and create solutions to them, especially systemic or cyclical problems that repeat. I'm really good at patterns. I really love the movie Aliens. That's always been a very consistent thing with me. I'm a big into sci-fi things. I like sci-fi writing. I've done a fair bit of that in my day. I like dark humor. I'm introverted. These are consistent variables of part of who I am. Okay? I like ice cream. I like to go out and dance. I like fast cars. Yeehaw. These are things I've discovered about myself through their consistency. Now, I often say that you can know a person based on their patterns of behavior. Well, these are patterns of behavior, patterns of preferences in my world. Now, long ago, I made a mistake. I made a mistake by making a conclusion that based on other people's responses to me, their patterns of behavior defined me. So I'm going to repeat that again. I made the mistake of making other people's patterns of behavior define who I am. Okay? This is typically what happens in abusive situations, or actually in healthy situations too, by the way. It's called a reference point. So when we have a cyclical experience, a repeating experience in our life, our brain creates a reference point and then a prediction or expectation on that. So an example of that would be if I go to Walmart and they have fruit on the left side of the store for the last 2 years, my brain's going to assume that the fruit's going to be on the left side of the store when I go there, and generally it is. That would be a reference point. So if I grew up being shamed for being introverted, questioned and laughed at for it, and that it was a pattern of behavior from other people, I will have internalized that as something wrong with me. Oh yeah, I'm shameful for being introverted. What's wrong with you? Why don't you go out and have friends? I don't understand you. These are the things that I was told. And that shaped me that way. But that is a false conclusion. That is not who I am. And that's what I'm getting at. Is I had to discover who I am beyond that judgment that I'd internalized. I had to reconnect to a bigger truth within me. And it's, how do we know if it's true, right? People are like, well, okay, I can connect to things within me, and some of these things are really scary, and some of these things are really outlandish. How do I know if it's real? Well, one, I'm a big fan of discerning our voice in that, and yesterday I spoke a bit about understanding our true voice. And our true voice has some very specific, consistent patterns of showing up. That's how we can know it's our true voice. Is one, it's calm. 2, it's light. 3, it's expansive. It grounds us into our body. Because this is the other trick here. We don't find ourselves in our mind. We don't find ourselves out here in the world. We find ourselves here in our body, into the physicality of our presence. So take a moment right now and notice where your feet are at. Notice what they're doing. Push your feet, like my feet are off the floor. I've got my legs folded. So that's where they're at. I'm referencing our feet for a specific reason. It's a way of grounding, a way of reconnecting with the earth. When I was going through my shamanic trainings, because I am not a shaman, I'm not claiming that. But I was trained in shamanic approaches for trauma healing that were also based and built off Peter Levine's somatic experiencing technology. One of the things we do is we reference the ground. Because we're part of the earth. We're a product of the earth. We've emerged from it and we will return to it. So there's a mothering that's there that is nourishing and centering for us. So if we press our feet into the floor, into the ground, we start to reconnect with our body. And from within our awareness that's anchored to our body, we can begin to discover ourselves again. And that's the key to knowing ourselves. Can you really know yourself? No. But you can know a lot about yourself, and even better, you can discover yourself over and over. This allows you to grow and become and access your dynamic nature of expansion, your dynamic capability to do different things. This gets you out of the, well, I'm stuck here, I can't change this. Oh, you may not be able to change that situation, but you can change your response. You can grow through it based on what you would like to be in it. Who do you be in this situation, or who do you want to be? This is a question I frequently ask it once a week in the community. I ask it to myself frequently, to my clients, to my students. Who do you want to be in this situation? Who are you without this thing like shame or guilt or fatigue or fear? Who are you without your codependency? This is how we start to discover ourselves. And using the framework of discovery and curiosity, we can accomplish things we didn't think we could do. I'll tell you, I've been doing these videos for almost 5 years now. I started in October of 2015. If you want to watch what that looked like, hop on the YouTube channel, go way back then, and you'll see it's different. I didn't think I could do what I do today then. I didn't know if I could. I didn't know if what I had to offer would appeal to a lot of people or it'd be useful. I didn't know these things. Nobody does until they do them. I had to get curious. I had to get playful with it. But I also had to get curious about who I wanted to be in this. And that is an ongoing journey. Right now, who I want to be in this is clear and confident and warm and available. I like it. It feels good. It feels good. It feels light. It feels expansive. It feels centering. It feels like this is me. Guys, this is how we come to know who we are, is through the discovery of our patterns that show up. Now, not all patterns are truth either. And what I mean by that, if I have some shame patterns that show up, and shame is a lie. So I know those patterns are trying to convey a lie to me. So behind that, I need to look at my needs. I need to look at the needs that are crying out for attention and for love and for understanding. I need to nurture that space with love, and that will reveal a spontaneous pattern, a spontaneous expression within inside myself. That teaches me, that illuminates me to me. God, this is how we break free. This is how we connect back to ourselves. This is how we overcome the trauma of neglect and the abuse that we've endured that we did not choose. This is how we come to understanding that I exist, that I am real. And you are real. You exist. You're right here. You know, you can literally touch yourself and you're like, oh, I'm alive. This is what we do in the happiness strategy. Happiness strategy is all about amplifying your sense of self by building awareness to your body's feedback, connecting you to your voice so you can understand your vision. And vision is the concept you have of either yourself, another person, or an outcome that is either happened, or will happen, or you would desire to happen. This is the magic that's within us, because when we tap into our innate value, then our true voice ignites. And when our true voice is ignited, the vision that is aligned with us reveals itself, and that is where we begin to restore happiness and well-being to our lives. So we heal, and then we come to know ourselves, and we combine these two things. We're able to share ourselves with the world and produce happiness, connection, and well-being. I have some logic behind these processes. And that's my goal for you, is to discover your own happiness again by understanding how to discover you and live from that in a way that is kind and gentle and expansive and exciting and playful for you. So we start the happiness strategy here in just over 11 days. We got currently 20 or 19 seats available. Those are going to fill up quick. This is the last run for the happiness strategy this year. The next time it's going to start is in March 22nd. It's 10 weeks long. They're live classes on Mondays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, so that's, -7 GMT time. They are recorded and uploaded to the university. You have lifetime access to those recordings, and because of the membership you get with the happiness strategy, you have lifetime access to the future classes of the happiness strategy, as well as future live classes like From Addiction to Connection or Restoring Safety, those kind of things. And you also get lifetime access to what's called live mentoring hours, where you can connect with me on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, which we'll be doing here in about an hour, actually, where you get support, understanding, get your questions answered, get guidance in your life from me and from other students going through the same journey you are. You get a frack ton of support with this. Okay, guys, so I invite you to join the happiness strategy. I'd love to have you as one of my students and to help you discover you again and restore your happiness back to your life and help you find yourself, know yourself, love, and live who you are. So I appreciate you. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. And today, get curious about who you want to be in the situations you encounter. And that is how you're going to start knowing yourself. And then we can start loving and living who that person is. Okay. Hang in there, guys. Love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.